Hey everyone, I'm Ingrid.
Hello folks, I'm Rick Meekins.
Join us for the next half hour on Epiphany Off the Cuff, where we will discuss what's going on in the entrepreneurial community. Okay, hi Rick. How are you?
Doing well. How are you?
Very, very, very good. Actually, I'm being blessed for the last couple of weeks, so I'm doing great. What about you?
Fantastic. Yeah, I've been doing really well and enjoying this warm weather.
Oh, really? How is it?
I guess here in Atlanta, it's about 88 degrees, which for me isn't too bad. It's been nice. Sun's been shining. A little bit of rain here and there, but that's okay.
It's good to have a little warm during this time of the year. I have warm here in my country all of the year, but well, I'm happy for you.
Hey, it must be nice,
Yeah. Let's say, yeah. Sometimes it's really hot.
Yeah,
but
I bet.
We're happy with it.
I bet.
Okay, so we are having a great topic for today, Rick. I think that last time was our first episode, right? And we were experiencing a little bit, and we were just trying to get the people know more about each other.
Mm-hmm.
And today, I think we need to maybe expand a little bit about the topic that we were covering. So we were touching some of the topics about our experiences as an entrepreneur a few years ago, like in our first couple of experiences as an entrepreneur, actually. So I think that we could cover what are the good and the bad from those experiences.
Okay.
What do you think?
Yeah, I think that's a great idea. I think that, I think it was good information on both sides. I mean, I know that I learned a lot, and I think that you learned a lot through your experiences. So, yeah, I think that's a great idea, something we can check.
And, it's curious because when I have to prepare, for the topics and all the discussions, I've been actually having the opportunity to learn again from those experiences, because I've had to write, about it and to actually see again and go through it. So it has been really interesting. So thank God that we decided to do this.
Yes. Absolutely. So, that said, where do we want to start today? Do you want to start since you made me start last time, or?
No, I think now it's your turn, right? Come on. It's one way and the other. So what about you can let us know? Let us start with the bad, right? And can we have the good to the end, like to close with a goal crusher?
Yeah. I think. I'm sorry. Did you want to ask the question? Or you want me to jump in?
Go ahead.
Okay. All right.
Tell us.
I think one of the lessons that absolutely horrified me, through my experience, and in truth, most of the companies I started, they were, I guess what you would call bootstrap, where we start with very little, and then we build the businesses from there. And so that said, one of the issues and one of the challenges that I faced and, have really put more effort and more thought around is the idea of just like being undercapitalized. It was, one thing to, be able to raise some money or to get some money, but something else to be able to have enough money to really, stay in business, through the thick and the thin and grow the business and that sort of thing. I would talk. Last week, I talked a little bit about the restaurant that we had, and that was really a huge blessing. We started the restaurant, and I was able to raise some money, as I was saying before, and we got $10,000 or $20,000, something like that, and it was enough to get us in business. We got the doors open, we got the office space built out, we were able to buy food, hire employees, and that sort of thing. Which, some people could argue that that's, we got a lot done with that amount of money. But it's one thing to start a company, and then something else entirely to be able to do the other pieces of that. And this is something I've seen, the companies do, whether it's a software company where, they've, put, $20,000, $30,000, whatever, into building their software, and they've got all these great plans, but they don't have that money for that next phase, or even for that beta type situation where you're going to put out some money, you're going to spend some money in order to be able to test your product and actually take your product to market. So I mean that was a big one for me, because we're in business, and we just can't do some of the things that we wanted to do. Some of the marketing or outreach, or even take advantage of certain opportunities made it very, very difficult. So I mean that's something that we always think about, when we look at launching new companies today, and it's a conversation that we always have with our clients.
That's very true. Now that you mention it, I think that when we as entrepreneurs think about startup, like there's, even if we talk about it, I mean, we can say a lot, but what we feel, it's a little bit of the passion there, like, the emotional part.
Oh, yeah.
So I guess that can influence a lot. And that's one thing, and the other one is to actually run it. Yeah. So you are very right.
Yeah. Yep. I think another one was really taking advantage of being faster to take advantage of opportunities. We think about, I guess the big thing that we're dealing with right now is the pandemic and COVID and that sort of thing. And I noticed in watching other companies how quickly they were to respond, to what was going on, and I mean, there's a great importance in that. And then we noticed that, the companies that were able to adapt to change the fastest were those that were, basically had a strategic advantage. They were able to say, okay, because of this particular situation, we need to operate differently. We need to change our model. And while it, obviously wasn't my company, Amazon comes to mind, where, suddenly everybody in the marketplace needed to get, as much stuff delivered as possible, as quickly as possible. And Amazon and their team, they got together very quickly, and they scaled up. They got more trucks. They built more infrastructure to be able to support the increased demand. And that was huge, And, as an entrepreneur, I mean, we think about this, constantly as well, with our company. And so we're looking at, what kind of changes do we need to actually help our clients get through, because they were dealing with this pandemic. And, while we were in a better position because, many of us work remotely anyway, and, we already understand the need for communication and self-motivation and that sort of thing, our clients weren't quite ready for that. And so in cases, in several cases, it was a situation where it's like, okay, we need to, help get for example, CRM system, teach how to communicate, teach, really even how to work. I think that a lot of people that aren't familiar with working from home or working remotely, tend to forget to, you've got to turn off sometimes. It's like normally you would work from, say, 8 a.m. till 5 p.m, or whatever your schedule is. But, because your computer is on and you have access, you're giving people access to you. So it's like 10 o'clock at night and you're opening an email, or, just one more thing, and then suddenly, you get one.
Yeah. It's like the computer is the office, right?
Exactly. And the funny thing is that, it impacted us because our clients are suddenly reaching out to us more, and they're like, hey, can you do this? Can you do that? Can we have a quick meeting? Slow it down.
Exactly. Yeah. It's like we were used to it before it hit. Mm-hmm. So, yeah.
So what about you? Tell us one of your, I guess, not so great experiences.
Well, I think that the bad from my experience where the business was running is that, that now that I was thinking about it, I think that to have such a difficult situation with the business past was actually an issue for me. I mean, when we started the business, I had a partner, right? Mm-hmm. But he was more like at the beginning, He was like really willing to do things. So when we started, we were trying really hard to make the people try to heal the past and all the problems that they had before. Because you remember that they were just about to close when I entered into the company, into the business, right?
Well,
So
which business was this? Which business was this?
This is the wellness center.
The wellness center. Okay.
Yeah. So they were really experiencing a lot of issues and a lot of bad experiences when they were like declining. When they were just really like actually about to close the door when I was start negotiating my engagement and involvement. Mm-hmm. So when we started, we tried really hard to make them heal and to provide like a spirit of hope, mm-hmm. that the business could still survive. But I mean that's why it was so hard, because I think that I just didn't search enough before entering into the operations and the actual business, at all. So I would have needed to fully understand all the past situations, like to really go through on it. So if I have studied that today, if I knew that, I mean, I probably would have decided not to go for it. Right?
Was it just like the toxicity of the environment? Was it just like is that what drove it, or you're thinking?
Are you prepared? I mean, this is almost like a soap opera. So listen this. The owner was a hairstylist, right? So he had a boyfriend. He was a Swiss guy. So that's why the business was called Swiss Salon, right? Okay. So the Swiss guy was like giving all the money and providing the capital. But this partner or this ownership, he was like the one running the operations. Mm-hmm. So he was like the star, because he had the talent. But he started to go into debt, like, let's say like $100,000, and I think he got until $150,000. Wow. Just for vague things in the salon, and to have the best, like to have the more luxury into the place, into the site. Uh-huh. So he started to go into the debt. And actually, at one point, he didn't pay the rent. So that's why he completely messed up with the business. Mm-hmm. So all the team was absorbing that, right? Like they were seeing, like, what is he doing? Like, mm-hmm. he's gonna mess it. Like, what's he doing? But they couldn't do anything because it was his decision. Yeah. So this guy, the capital guy, was sending the money, and he was just spending it into things that he should have done it. And then when he was at a point that he was so stressed and he had everything that was trying to collect their money, mm-hmm. and he couldn't pay, he just decided to run away.
Oh no. So then what happened?
And today, 5 years ago, we don't know where he is.
Oh my goodness. Wow.
So when he ran away, one of the people that was lending him money was my ex-partner, like my co-partner in the business. Mm-hmm. So that's when he was like, Ingrid, I need help. Now I am alone in this. Why don't you come and try to like help me out, and we together can make the business come over from this and overcome this. So I was like, I started to go there and look and see. And that's when I say I should have searched deeper, like really actually, go deeper into what was going on. Because mm-hmm. if I have known this before, I mean, I knew this after I was still running the business when I got into know this, all the situation. But if I should have known that, I mean, maybe I was just, I could have freaked out, and maybe I just can think that he can turn back and reclaim their business, like I would have think a lot of things that would have me stop of not going for it.
Yeah, my gosh. That's terrible.
Yeah, it was so crazy. So all the team, all the people were telling me about it, like all the stories about the daily things, mm-hmm. But when I was trying to get closer with them.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
So that's a very important one.
Yes, my
So
goodness.
that's what I was saying at the beginning. Like when I was preparing this and I was like writing it down, I was actually reflecting about it. Like if I could have done this, maybe I probably would have decided another thing or differently.
Wow. That's a tough one. That's a tough one. My goodness. And I mean, do you feel like you're over that now, or do you still have like a lot of misgivings when you're looking at business opportunities? Or
I mean, I am there. I am getting there. I am getting to the 100% recovery.
that's awesome.
I'm afraid I can't say that it's 100 overcome, but I mean, of course, it's not as the beginning. I'm just trying to learn. I mean, learning about all the experiences and getting the strength to go for it again.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, I'm preparing more. I'm just in the strategic and planning phase on the new one, but yeah, I mean, this is just focusing on evaluating and reflecting is deep. So a second thing that I think it was also, I don't know if I would say bad, but maybe if I wish I could have a partner or a tutor or some kind of business support, when you are in those experiences, if you have someone or a partner at the moment that can help you or maybe guide you with a neutral, like with an objective opinion, it's easier.
Oh, yeah.
Because as we are saying, like when we are on it, we have still that passion and that emotional aspect that as more as we can say, there is always there. It is always there, right? So especially when it's the first one. So if I mean, my partner at the moment when we started, he was there the first moment, and I am really grateful for that. But he was not really involved or care of it because he didn't like the type of business. So it was some point that he lost the interests. So I just saw myself like all alone. So I don't resent that at all. It's just, and I understand it because when you don't feel a passion about it, I mean, when you don't look, I mean, it's normal. So for him, it's normal. So he just was looking to recover his money because remember, he was lending the past owner.
Yeah.
So he was just trying to recover his money. So I understand that. But if I would have like a neutral opinion or some kind of support from the business perspective, I would have been less emotional about the whole thing, about it, and maybe discover new things on the road.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I can totally agree with that. I mean, it's the emotional decision making that we sometimes do, is I mean, I guess the word's crippling. It's like, it's like you see it, and as an entrepreneur, I mean, you're always going to say, hey, there really is an opportunity here. And I mean, you can't go into a business pessimistically, thinking that things might go badly because you won't be successful. It's going to be whatever you want it to be. But yeah, to have somebody to bounce the idea off of, talk through, just kind of think through, and even have you go back and ask more questions, is really critical.
Yeah.
I certainly value that, about our company, being able to bounce ideas off and, come to good conclusions.
And you know what? Now that I see it like this, I mean, that I can understand why I enjoy so much what I do. Because that's what I do, right? Like that's what we do. So when I finished the business, like when I finished being on that business, I started doing advisories. So I was really happy helping people. I mean, from another, like from the business administrative stuff and financial stuff. So I was just being with the person as a support, and also providing that objective opinion. Yeah.
I enjoy that too. Sometimes the conversations get a little interesting, but I enjoy being that trusted advisor and just helping people just think through what those issues are or how to get from point A to point B. That's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah. So what about the good?
Huh?
No, I think those are really strong.
That's a good one. So,
Yeah, so
no more, like nothing that.
let's stop there. Let's stop there. No, what about the good? Let's go for the good things. What about you?
It's always interesting when I think about this because I mean there have been a lot of great things that have happened over the years. I guess the first one is really quite simple. For I guess the first 5 years of the company, I was running Epiphany by myself and doing all the consulting and business development and that sort of thing. And my thinking, my mindset was that I could get it all done. But I mean it was tough, the idea of bringing someone on, even though I knew I needed someone. And so I brought in a couple of interns and they did okay. They weren't, extremely productive, unfortunately, which was fine. But then, bringing in, another lady that's been with us for a number of years. I mean, she just completely changed the game, because suddenly it wasn't, everything wasn't on me. And, I mean, it's, I don't know that, this is something where people would say, rah, rah, but I would certainly say that going at, the understanding of going at a business like this alone is tough. And making that decision to bring someone else in, of course, all of a sudden you've got this other wage that you have to pay out. But the gains from that, are with the right person, are exceptional. Because, like you were saying before, you've got someone that you can, bounce ideas off of. You've got someone that can, provide a different, additional insight, or ideas, all the ideas, for me, I always say that, when all the ideas come from me, they're going to be very limited. But, if we can involve the team in decision making, those ideas tend to be much better, much clearer. And so, I mean, that was a step that, I certainly don't regret. But then, fast forward to today, and that idea is multiplied, where we have different team members that have different skills different than I have, which has really enabled the company to do a lot more than I could do individually, so, I mean, it's
Exactly.
not just, capacity, for work, but it's also capability. It's the, being able to even divide out, some of the leadership responsibilities where things happen in the company, that I'm not, fully aware of, or at least aware of the process. And, it has really enabled us to be able to take many strides, and it has enabled our, I guess, strategic planning, our strategic thinking about where the company's going, to take on a much more, we could say, aggressive spin, if we want to. But I mean, I can see much further down the road now with a great team that I work with, and a diverse team. Again, it's, everyone bringing different skills, experience, abilities. I mean, a lot of them have, an entrepreneurial background, and they're thinking, how can we do this? How can we fill this need? How can we, identify new opportunities? And that is, I mean, I think that has been really great. I think that is something that, I'm thankful for, every single day.
Yeah, that's a big one. That's a big one, and it's a path that never ends. Like you were learning about that like how many years ago, and you're still like growing your team, but still learning from it. So
yeah, absolutely,
experience.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think
That's
that I think the entrepreneurialism that's in me, I don't see that as something that, okay, I did it and that's it. I know that we're always thinking about how else can we, really, how else can we serve our market? What else do they need? How else can we, meet their needs? Whether it's, going deeper into an offering that we currently have, or developing new offerings. And, I think that, again, because of the team, because all the ideas aren't coming from my head, I mean, we have much better ideas, we have much better outcomes from the things that, from the ventures that we pursue. My job, I feel like my job is more to, keep everything together, keep that vision, for the company going forward, and support the people on the team with what they're doing, making sure they have the resources, being there as they need for me to be. And I believe that they support the company, because of those things, and because of, my commitment to them, which I think is very, very important.
Okay. That's a big one. Well, from my end, I think that the goods from my experience in that time was, well, I actually had more good things than the bad ones. For the first one, I would say is, so I was like an employee before that. So I was like, I didn't have the opportunity before to manage my time. So that was the first time I was able to actually be like own my time.
Mm-hmm.
I was not, it's not all about the schedule, because I had even tougher schedule. I mean, I was my boss. So that's terrible. Like I was there from 6:30 until 8. So it's not about that. It's more like you are able to actually organize your time depending on what you want to do or what you need to do. And that's depending on your goals, right? Mm-hmm. So I was able to determine my goals according to the dreams and the vision that I have for the business, and accommodate them into weekly and daily tasks, mm-hmm. to accomplish. So that was like, that was like realization for me. Mm-hmm. That was like huge. So that was the first time I could actually enjoy that. Yeah. Right? Like before, I was really committed, like to my job and to my boss, and I would say that he owned my time. So I was like always there answering his phone, and because I was an assistant at that point. So yeah, it was tough. And then the third one, because that was 2 in a 1, I think is
that was nice. Like, snuck that in there.
Like manage my time, being able to my goals. Like that's 2. So the third one I would say is I loved when I was able to discuss with the clients when I was on site to mm-hmm. see how they actually felt during the stay and during the service. Mm. That was huge for me. Yeah. Because I was able to talk with people like, hey, how was it today? Like, how do you feel? Like, yeah. And I was not doing that like chasing people. No, it was like natural.
Yeah.
So I was like, hey, you were really nice. What did you do today? Who was with you? So, like those type of interactions were really valuable.
Absolutely. That personal, it's like that personal, it's almost like you're giving them something, you're showing interest in who they are and what their experience was, good or bad, I imagine, right?
Yeah. And any time that I was doing that conversation, mm-hmm. they usually ask for another service or for a product.
Yeah.
Because I was selling products too. Mm-hmm. So during the conversation, there was something that could drive me to sell another thing or another service or product. So that's actually also really, really valuable.
Yeah.
For cross sales.
Absolutely.
I was actually, or a good thing is that I could evidence that's when you can evidence that good service and the good experience that you provide to your clients is a deciding point to make a client come back.
Yeah.
Because when I did that interaction, when I did that conversation, I mean, they were more related to the thing. Yeah. They were more likely to go back.
Yeah.
So that's also very good. And I think in an overall sense, I was really happy, like how it felt to have my team as truly clients, because they were my priority. Mm-hmm. So as I mentioned that in the first episode, is like they were not employees, but they were like type of freelancers or like independent, autonomous mm-hmm. Workers. So they bring their own clients. So I needed to retain them.
Right.
So not only the paying customers were my clients, but them themselves, they were my top priority. And I had to constantly be in the exercise or on thinking about them as a priority, because they were happy. If they were happy there, they were willing to bring more customers and to work with me to jump on campaigns and ideas and to create more things for them and their clients.
Excellent.
So that was a challenge, actually.
We heard a little bit about that, didn't we? Well, good for you. Yeah. I mean, again, investing in your team is, I mean, you can't say enough about that.
Exactly. Yeah. So that was my good things. I think there are more of the good, right? So that's why I mean, even of the bad, I mean, even though that I don't regret at all, and I just take the good, embrace it, and move forward.
I think there's a lot to be said about that. Being able to, accept these tough things, these tough situations, just as part of the learning process. I would probably say that I've probably forgotten, a lot of the things that I really struggle with, over the years. One is make sure that you pay your employee taxes because they will haunt you.
Yeah.
And that was a story from a while ago. Very scary story with the IRS. But I mean,
we'll make another episode with that.
Yes, I could make a whole episode with that one. That would probably make for a good short TV show. But it's the cool thing is that, like, even though I've forgotten, in a lot of cases, what those stories were. I mean, I don't lose the lessons. And these are lessons a lot of times that, we've been able to, either impart here, with the company or even impart to our clients and, help them, move around, obstacles, that we face, which again is a great reason why, our team is, mostly entrepreneurial, because we've been through a lot. We've seen a lot of different things, and we've been able to help our clients avoid issues. Yes, you need a business license. Yes, you need to renew it every year. Yes, and on and on and on. Yes, you have to pay your taxes, and on and on and on. So yeah, this is great. I actually have one other thing that I think is probably important that in terms of good things, and I think it was probably about 11 years ago. I went to a retreat, if you will. And, during that retreat, what the goal was of the retreat was to kind of outline your purpose, so, we had to create like personal mission statements and stuff like that. And so, and this was really based on, looking back historically, what kinds of things truest, were attractive to us and that sort of thing. And so, I was able to kind of put some thoughts together and came up with the mission statement. My purpose is to educate, equip, and inspire people to pursue extraordinary goals. The cool thing about that is that also became the mission for Epiphany, where we educate, equip, and inspire people to build extraordinary businesses. And so I think the greatest gift that I had from this company is being able to really live out my personal mission through the company. Mm-hmm. And I mean, this is this is really even part of our strategic planning. I mean, this is part of, how are we going to do this year? How are we going to educate? How are we going to equip? How are we going to inspire?
That's your life mission.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. And so, I mean, again, I would feel really privileged, not just to be able to do that, but to have a team that works with me to help, expand my reach. I really love that about, I'll call it my job. I really love that about my job. I really love that about, being able to serve our community. And I, in truth, I really like to pass that on to our team members, where we've, given team members the opportunity to, take different classes in different areas to get better at what they do. We do things, even though we're a virtual team, we do, monthly events where we talk through, some of the things that, ideally, we're inspiring, other team members. So, again, I feel really privileged to be able to do that,
That's great. That's great. I think that we can say that when we are entrepreneur, when we choose this path, we are just choosing for a life purpose, right? Like that's like my conclusion. Like being to take entrepreneur path is to take a purpose and own it. Like really take it as your daily motivation. That's the reason that you stand up for, besides your children if you have. But you know, like that's our path.
Yeah. So, absolutely. And I don't think I would choose differently. I think that there have been times when I said, man, I wish I had a job, because I wanted a paycheck. But, I think that I can't see, looking back from this life at all. Good and bad. I mean, I think that the learning, that we've had is extraordinary. I mean, it's not what it's not stuff you're going to learn in school. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, but I'm thinking that I don't want to blame like the employees, like people that decide to go through an employee. I still think that there's an entrepreneur type of spirit or soul that they can have within them. And it's not only to look for like a hustle job or a side income. It's not just about income and money. It's just about the spirit and how the personality, how is the drive, when you feel it like that. So even if you have a job and even if you have a good paycheck, I mean, who wouldn't want that? That's great. But if you're in that company, like you can still provide entrepreneur projects, or you can still be willing to give your best and to add value to that from that position that you have in your company. And if they don't pay attention to you, just continue and find another way to do it. But it doesn't stop, right? Like when you take the path and you decide to take the entrepreneur vibe thing, even if you're a company or if you run your own business, it will still drive you to better outcomes.
I agree. You're completely right. You are completely right. Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, I think we have good stuff today. I hope that listeners can enjoy it. And do we have another thing that we want to add? Or
I think we're good. I mean, I enjoyed this. I'm actually looking forward to our next episode as well. I think we're going to be talking on leadership next time. Is that right?
Yeah, we're talking about leadership. Hopefully we can make it with a surprise guest.
Yes. That would be outstanding. Well, thank you, everyone.
So thank you, Rick, and thank you, everyone. Please join us and follow us on all our socials, and see you next one.
We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye. Well, everyone, thanks for listening to the show. We hope that you've enjoyed it.
We would love to hear your feedback or review. If you loved it, drop us a line. Let us know what business topics are on your mind. We'll make sure to talk about it in an upcoming episode.
If you have any questions or you would like to be featured on the show, message us on social. You can find us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter at Aepiphanni. We'd love to hear from you.
Thanks again for listening. We look forward to seeing you next time on Epiphany Off the Cuff.